Alright, Goku and Marvel Remastered, Episode 9, The Monkey Meets the Mandarin. And in this episode, Goku's going to meet Shang-Chi, so let's get into it. The dim glow of candlelight flickered across the Han's war room as Elektra stood before Goku with her arms crossed, her crimson robes blending into the shadows. 3 months had passed since their return from Canada, and Goku had slipped back into his role as the Hand's most unpredictable enforcer, training, hunting, and occasionally sparing enemies that impressed him. But tonight was different. "You've been requested," Elektra said, her voice smooth but edged with command. Goku tilted his head, his tail now regrown, twitching behind him. By who? The Mandarin. The name hung in the air like a blade unsheathed. Goku had heard whispers of this warlord, a man who wielded rings of unfathomable power, a conqueror who carved his own empire from the shadows. Elektra continued, "He seeks an alliance with the Hand, but first he wants proof of our strength." Her dark eyes locked onto his. "That means he wants you." Goku's grin spread. "So he's looking for a fight?" Elektra smirked. "He's looking for a warrior who can handle tasks that suit his interests." Goku cracked his knuckles. "Sounds fun." Elektra's expression hardened. "This isn't a game, Dimitri. The Mandarin has influence that could further our operations, so you will need to prove yourself for our organization's reputation." Goku's grin didn't even waver. "Fine, even better." Goku stretched his arms behind his back, his tail flicking lazily as he processed Elektra's words. "So, I go beat up some guys for this Mandarin guy, prove the Hand's worth, and then what, I just come back?" Elektra's lips curled slightly. "If you succeed, you'll return with his favor. If you fail, then don't even bother coming back at all, as you already know." Goku laughed. Yeah, no pressure." He tilted his head. "What about you? You're not coming with me?" Elektra turned, her crimson robes whispering against the stone floor as she moved toward a map of New York City pinned to the wall. "I have my own assignment. Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, has requested the Hand's protection. He's making moves against rival factions, and he wants assurance that no one will interfere." Goku blinked. "Wait, so you're going to be a bodyguard?" Elektra shot him a glare. "I'm ensuring the Hand's interests in the city remain unchallenged. Fisk is a useful ally, but he's also paranoid. If he suspects betrayal, I'll handle it." Goku smirked. "Yeah, sounds boring." Elektra's eyes narrowed. "And your mission sounds simple, but the Mandarin is not a man to underestimate. His rings grant him power beyond mortal means. If he tests you, he will do so, most likely brutally." Goku waved her off. I fought worse." Elektra exhaled through her nose. "Just don't die. It would be inconvenient." Goku grinned. "Oh, you do care." She ignored that. "If you finish before I return, meet me in New York. Fist's operations are centered in Hell's Kitchen. Find me there." Goku nodded. "Got it. Try not to miss me too much." Elektra rolled her eyes and turned away. Dismissed. As Goku left the war room, his mind was already racing. The Mandarin wanted a warrior. Well, he was going to give him one. And if this mission led to a real fight, that was a bonus. The humid air of Gongshuao clung to Goku's skin as he stepped off the cargo ship, his tail twitching under the loose fabric of his hooded cloak. The Hand had given him coordinates deep in the mountains. Before he could even set out, 3 men in sleek black suits intercepted him at the docks. The leader, a sharp-eyed man with a scar across his jaw, stepped forward. "You are Kravenov, yes?" "The one sent by the Hand." Goku tilted his head, sizing them up. They weren't fighters, not real ones anyway. Their stances were rigid, their hands too close to hidden holsters. Bureaucrat bodyguards, most likely, with guns. "Yeah, that's me," he said, grinning. "You guys have to escort me or something?" The man nodded stiffly. "Our employer wishes to speak with you before you proceed." "You will come with us," Goku shrugged. "Sure, why not?" They led him to a black sedan with tinted windows. As they drove through the neon-lit streets, Goku leaned back, watching the city blur past. "So, who's this boss of yours? The Mandarin?" The man in the passenger seat glanced at him in the rearview mirror, but he didn't say anything. Goku chuckled. "Guess I'll find out soon enough." The car wound through the city, then up into the misty hills when a sprawling estate loomed beyond gilded gates. Whoever wanted to see him wasn't just some underling, that was clear. And this was going to be an interesting conversation. The heavy door swung open and Goku stepped into the dimly lit chamber, his sharp eyes scanning the room as its center, seated on an ornament elevated throne, was none other than the legendary Mandarin. The warlord was clad in dark green and gold robes, his fingers adorned with some type of rings, each one pulsing with an eerie otherworldly glow. His expression was calm, almost amused, but Goku's instincts prickled. There was something beneath the surface, a pressure in the air like the quiet hum before a storm. Ah, the infamous body of the hand, the Mandarin said, his voice smooth, yet carrying an undercurrent of command. Electra speaks highly of your unique talents. Goku smirked, crossing his arms. Yeah, well, she's got a funny way of showing it. The Mandarin chuckled, but his eyes remained calculated. Tell me, young warrior, do you know why I requested you? Goku shrugged. I'm guessing it wasn't for some tea. A slow smile spread across the warlord's face. Perceptive. I have need of strength, but not mere brute force. I require a weapon that thinks. He leaned forward slightly, the rings on his fingers glinting. And you are more than what you appear, aren't you? Goku's tail twitched under his cloak. The way the Mandarin looked at him, it wasn't just curiosity, it was recognition, like he knew something that the others in the room didn't. Depends on what you think I am, Goku countered, his grin never slipping. But his mind was racing. This guy's not just some crime lord. Those rings, they weren't normal. The Mandarin steepled his fingers. One ring hummed faintly. Let us see if you live up to your reputation. The air in the chamber grew heavy as the Mandarin's finger flexed, his ring pulsing with an eerie, unnatural light. Goku's instincts flared. This wasn't just some crime boss. This man had power. Before Goku could react, the Mandarin raised a single finger, the one adorned with the frost blue sung. A whisper of cold slithered through the room, and in an instant, the men who had escorted Goku were encased in solid ice, their expressions frozen in shock. Goku's eyes widened. Whoa! The Mandarin chuckled, lowering his hand. The ice remained, glistening under the dim light. Impressive, is it not? He mused. The ring of zero, a mere fraction of the powers that I wield. Goku exhaled, his breath visible in the sudden chill. Yeah, no kidding. You just turned your own guys into popsicles. The warlord smirked. A demonstration. To prove that I am not a man to be trifled with, he leaned forward, his dark eyes gleaming. But you didn't even flinch. Most men would have panicked. Some would have begged for their lives. Yet you stand, grinning like a fool. Goku shrugged. I've seen weirder. The Mandarin smirk deepened. Electra was right about you. There is something different about you, Kravenov. Something beyond human. Goku's tail twitched under his cloak, but he kept his expression neutral. So what's the deal? You freeze people for fun, or is there a point to all this? The Mandarin rose from his throne, his robes whispering against the stone floor. I am in search of 5 of the remaining rings. Artifacts of immeasurable power, scattered across the world. Each one grants dominion over a fundamental force within this existence. He extended his hand, the ring shimmering. With them, I will reshape reality itself into a better world. Goku tilted his head. Yeah, sounds like a lot of work. And why do you need me? And that's probably why you need me, actually. The Mandarin's gaze sharpened. Yes, because the rings are not easily claimed. They are guarded, hidden, and I do not want to make my presence known as of yet to the world, so I require a warrior who can face such challenges without hesitation. The shadows near the throne shifted, and a young man stepped forward, lean, composed, his dark eyes sharp, with quiet intensity. He wore a simple black tunic, his sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms corded with muscle. His stance was effortless, balanced, like a coiled spring ready to snap at any given moment. Goku's grin widened. He could tell that this guy was strong. The Mandarin gestured toward the young warrior. This is my son, Shang-Chi. He will accompany you on your mission. And as you can see, I mixed the MCU story of Mandarin being his father with the Marvel version of what the rings can do, as y'all can see. Anyway, Shang-Chi gave a slight nod, his expression unreadable. Father speaks highly of your abilities. His voice was calm, measured, but there was an edge to it, a challenge. Goku cracked his knuckles. Yeah, well, I hope you can keep up. Shang-Chi's lips twitched into almost a smirk. I was about to say the same thing to you. The Mandarin watched him, amused. Shang-Chi is the finest warrior I have ever trained. His skills are unmatched. If you are to retrieve the rings, you will definitely need his expertise. Goku's tail flicked under his cloak. So, what's the plan? We just go find these rings and bring them back. Shang-Chi folded his arms. It won't be that simple. The rings are hidden in dangerous places, guarded by those who will not give them up willingly. Goku's eyes gleamed. That's even better. The Mandarin chuckled. Then it's settled. The two of you leave at dawn. As Goku and Shang-Chi locked eyes, something was unspoken that passed between them. A mutual understanding. A silent promise. This wasn't just going to be a mission. It was a test, and both of them were eager to prove who was better. The abandoned Hydra research facility in the Swiss Alps was a fortress of concrete and steel, buried deep beneath layers of snow and secrecy. Goku crouched on a ridge overlooking the compound, his breath misting in the frigid air, his tail twitching under his insulated cloak. Beside him, Shang-Chi adjusted his taped gloves, his dark eyes scanning the facility defenses. Goku grinned. So, how many guys we gotta punch to get this ring, you figure? Shang-Chi calmly answered. Intel says 24 armed guards, automated turrets, and possibly an enhanced operative. Goku cracked his knuckles. Sweet. I'll take the left side. Shang-Chi sighed. Or we could be subtle. Goku blinked. What's that mean? Shang-Chi didn't answer. Instead, he stepped off the ridge and vanished into the shadows. Goku, deciding subtlety was overrated, especially since he didn't know what it meant, kicked in the front door. Alarms blared. Hydra soldiers spun toward him, rifles raised. Goku waved. Hey guys, which one of you has the shiny ring? Gunfire erupted. Bullets ricocheted off Goku's raised forearms as he blurred forward. A whirlwind of elbows and knees. Soldiers crumpled, disarmed, unconscious, or thrown through walls. Meanwhile, Shang-Chi slipped through the ventilation shafts, dispatching guards with silent precision. Pressure point strikes, disarms, and knockout darts. Hydra commander got over the comms. We have intruders. Activate the... A dart embedded itself in his throat. Shang-Chi's voice whispered through the shadows. You're welcome. Goku spun. That was a nice throw. Shang-Chi dropped from the ceiling, landing beside them. We don't have time for this. The ring's in the vault, and Hydra's about to move it to another facility. For research, no doubt. The vault door was reinforced steel alloy. Goku cracked his neck. Stand back. His fist slammed into the metal once, twice, before the hinges groaned and the doors buckled inward. Inside, a Hydra scientist clutched a ring, a pulsating band of shifting silver light. The scientist panicked. You don't understand. This ring can reshape matter itself. It's too dangerous. Goku snatched it mid-sentence. Goku examined it. Huh. Looks like a fancy piece. Then the walls exploded. A Hydra enforcer in powered armor charged, fists crackling with energy. Shang-Chi dodged a repulsor blast. I told you we should have been subtle. Goku grinned. Yeah, but this is more fun anyway. Goku smashed the power armor with the door, and with the ring secured, the duo fought their way out. Goku tanking bullets and Shang-Chi redirecting and evading attacks with fluid precision. As they breached the surface, the facility's self-destruct sequence activated. Shang-Chi partially panted. We need to move now. Goku tossed the ring in the air and caught it. So, we just give this to your dad. Right? Shang-Chi's expression darkened. That is correct. As the Alps erupted in fire behind them, the two warriors vanished into the storm, one step closer to the Mandarin's grand design. But what would be the cost? Back at Mandarin's stronghold, Goku couldn't stop grinning. Shang-Chi had moved like water. effortless with perfect countermeasures, turning every opponent's strength against him. It wasn't like Kraven's brutal efficiency, or T'Challa's tactical mastery, or Elektra's kill shots. This was something new. As soon as they stepped into the courtyard, Goku spun on his heel, tail lashing with excitement. Hey Shang, that move where you flip that guy using his own gun who was larger than you? How? Shang-Chi arched her brow. Leverage, momentum. Basic. Teach me. Silence. Then Shang-Chi snorted. You don't need tricks. You punch through walls. Goku shook his head, uncharacteristically serious. Nah, that's the thing. I want to learn all forms of combat. And you fought smarter, not harder. I gotta know how. Shang-Chi studied him, the raw eagerness, the lack of ego. Finally, he smirked. Fine, but I won't go easy. Under the moonlight, the courtyard became their arena. First was a balance test. Shang-Chi stood on one leg atop a bamboo pole. Your stance is all power with no root. Like a tree without thud. Goku face planted for the 5th time. This is way harder than just fighting. Then they did redirection drills. Shang-Chi let Goku charge, then sidestep, using his momentum to send him tumbling back. Stop resisting the flow. Use it. Channel it. Goku growled, tail puffing. Then finally, with the throw, springing back up. Ha, did you see? Bam, a gentle palm strike sent him spiraling again. Then he learned more about pressure points. Strike here, Shang-Chi tapped Goku's forearm. And the arm goes numb. Goku poked himself, then yelped as his hand spasmed. Whoa, you know more about pressure point strikes than I was taught in the Savage Lands. By dawn, Goku is bruised, muddy, and beaming. Again tomorrow? Shang-Chi tossed him a towel, hiding his own grin. If you can keep up. For the first time, Goku wasn't just chasing strength. He was chasing skill. And Shang-Chi, he'd never had a student so relentless. He never had a student to begin with. The Mandarin watched from the shadows, rings glinting. Perfect. For months, the courtyard echoed with the sounds of clashing fists, shifting stances, and the occasional yelp as Goku, despite his overwhelming physical strength, found himself outmaneuvered time and time again. Shang-Chi moved like a river, fluid and unrelenting, turning Goku's brute force charges into stumbling falls with precise redirections. At first, Goku relied purely on his feral warrior instincts, wild, explosive bursts of power that could shatter stone, but it left him open to counters. Shang-Chi exploited every opening, using Goku's own momentum against him. A simple wrist twist sent him crashing into the dirt. A well-placed heel to the knee buckled his stance, and a fingertip pressed to a nerve cluster made his entire arm go numb. Strength means nothing if you can't control it, Shang-Chi chided, flipping Goku over his shoulder for the 10th time that session. Goku, panting but grinning, white blood from his split lip. Then teach me how. And so Shang-Chi did. He taught him precision over power. Where Goku once relied on haymakers, he now struck with a surgical accuracy. Knife hand blows to the throat, elbow jabs to floating ribs, knee strikes to the solar plexus. He taught him the economy of motion. Shang-Chi drilled him on minimal movement for maximum effect. A half-inch shift of the hips could mean the difference between a block strike and a knockout. He taught him breath control. Goku learned to regulate his breathing, to fight without wasted energy, to remain calm even when his blood sang for battle. The most crucial lesson that he taught him was adaptation. Shang-Chi's style was ever-changing. Wing Chun's close-quarter traps, Baiji Quan's explosive slams, Zui Quan's drunken unpredictability, and Goku, once a deadly brawler, began blending these techniques with his own savage land brutality. He'd feint with the Panther-style grapple he learned from T'Challa, then shift into the hand's assassin nerve strikes. He'd bait opponents with wild swings only to snap into Shang-Chi's inspired counter the moment they committed. And he would do all this while moving like water. And by the end of their training, Goku wasn't just stronger, he had further increased his battle IQ. Shang-Chi's arms crossed, watched as Goku flawlessly executed a sequence that they drilled for weeks. Not bad for a monkey that was born in the jungle. Goku laughed, tail flicking. I'll just take the compliment. The Mandarin observed from the shadows, rings humming. His son had honed a weapon without even realizing it, and soon that weapon would be put to the test against one of his enemies. Though Goku's training with Shang-Chi focused on refining his martial arts, there were moments, fleeting, instinctive, when something deeper stirred inside of him. During one sparring session, Shang-Chi dodged a punch with liquid grace, countering with a palm strike that sent Goku skidding back. Frustration flared. His muscles burned, his reflexes sharpened, but something was missing. Then, for a heartbeat, he felt it, a warmth in his core. Like embers flaring to life, his veins hummed, his vision sharpened, and for an instant, his next strike carried more force than intended. Crack! The training dummy shattered, split into splinters, and so did the wall that was behind it. Shang-Chi froze. What was that? Goku stared at his fist, bewildered. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. The sensation vanished as quickly as it came. He tried to summon it again, clenching his fists, gritting his teeth, but nothing. Just a familiar thrum of his Saiyan blood. Shang-Chi studied him. That wasn't just strength. It was like your body amplified itself. Goku scratched his head. Back in Canada, something like that happened when I fought Jubilee. My body, it just reacted. Shang-Chi frowned. You're saying you don't know how to control this. Goku shrugged. Kind of hard to control something I don't even understand. For now, he shelved it. Key, if that's what it was, remained a mystery. A locked door he couldn't yet pry open, but the spark was there, and one day it would be ignited. The final two rings loomed like specters over their mission. The ring of incandescence, a band of molten gold said to harness the fury of a dying star, was their next target. According to Mandarin's intelligence, it lay hidden within the ruins of the ancient temple in the Himalayas, guarded by a secretive sect of firewooding monks who had sworn to protect it from the unworthy for a long time. Goku cracked his knuckles, tail flicking eagerly as he studied the holographic map in the Mandarin's war room. So, are these monks strong? Shang-Chi's arms crossed, shot him a sidelong glance. Rumor says they don't just wield fire, they command it, like breathing. Goku grinned. That's even better. The Mandarin steepled his fingers, his remaining rings pulsating faintly. The incandescence is not merely a weapon, it is a purification incarnate. Many have sought it, and none have survived its trial. Goku scoffed. Yeah, beware the flame and all that. When do we leave? Shang-Chi sighed. You're not listening. This isn't just another smash and grab. The temple is a test. If we fail, we'll burn. Goku smirked, didn't waver. Then I guess we won't fail. The journey was brutal. Blizzards, sheer cliffs, and thin air that would have crippled a normal man. But Goku and Shang-Chi pressed on, scaling the frozen peaks until they reached a cavernous entrance carved into the mountainside. Heat rolled out in waves, defying the icy surroundings. Inside the temple glowed. Walls lined with ever-burning braziers, embers floating in the air like fireflies. At its heart stood a massive stone, and atop it, spinning in midair by unseen forces, was the ring of incandescence, a loop of liquid gold pulsing like a heartbeat. As they crouched behind, jagged outcropping overlooking the temple at the internal pyre, Goku's tail twitched with anticipation. The heat radiating from the ancient structure was intense, even from this distance that they were at, and the air smelled of sulfur and burning stone. He glanced at Shang-Chi, expecting the usual focused intensity, but instead, his comrade's expression was distant, troubled, even. Goku frowned. Hey, you good? You've been quiet since we left the stronghold. Shang-Chi didn't answer at first. His fingers flexed as if debating whether to form a fist or let them go slack. Finally, he exhaled sharply. Shang-Chi spoke quietly. I can't do this anymore. Goku blinked. Huh? Shang-Chi turned to him, his dark eyes unreadable. This mission, the rings, my father's ambitions, I don't want any part of it. Goku's grin faltered. Wait, what? Since when? Shang-Chi grimaced. Since always, his voice was low, edged with something Goku had never heard from him before, resentment. I've spent my entire life training, obeying, becoming the weapon he wanted, but I don't want to be his blade anymore. And these rings, they're not just artifacts, they're dangerous. Goku scratched his head. I mean, yeah, they're powerful. That's why we're getting them, right? Shang-Chi shook his head. You don't understand. The Mandarin doesn't just want power. He wants control. Over nations, over people, over everything. His jaws tightened. And I won't be the one who helps him do it. Silence stretched between them, broken only by the distant crackle of the temple flames that were ahead of him. Goku studied Shang-Chi, really studied him. The tensions in his shoulders, the way his fingers kept tracing old scars. This wasn't just cold feet. This was a man who had reached his breaking point. Goku grinned, but softer. So, what's the plan then? You just bail? Shang-Chi's eyes flickered with surprise. You'd let me walk away? Just like that? Goku shrugged. I mean, if you're not into it, why force it? I came for a challenge. I don't really care if some guy wants to try to take over the world. He paused, then smirked. But you can leave after this. Besides, I owe you for your teachings. Shang-Chi let out a snort, disbelieving laugh. You're insane. Goku's grin widened. Yeah, probably. So what's next? Shang-Chi's expression hardened with resolve. I'm going to take one of these rings for ourselves. And we make sure my father never gets his hands on all 10 of them. The moment Goku and Shang-Chi stepped into the temple's inner sanctum, the flames roared higher, forming a ring of fire that was around them. The monks, hooded figures with ember-lit eyes, emerged from the shadows, their voices echoing as one. Who seeks the ring of incandescence? Shang-Chi stepped forward, his stance firm but his tone respectful. I do. The head monk, an ancient man with skin like charred parchment, studied him. And why should the flames deem you worthy? Shang-Chi didn't hesitate. Because I don't seek it for power. I seek it to prevent a greater evil. A greater fire that is to come. The monks exchanged glances. The air grew heavier, the heat pressing against their skin like a physical force. You must prove it. Without warning, the ground beneath Shang-Chi erupted in fire. He didn't flinch, didn't retreat. Instead, he inhaled deeply, centering himself as the flames licked at his legs, his fists clenched, sweat beading on his brow, but his voice remained steady. I've spent my life being forged in someone else's fire. I won't burn for them any longer. The flames intensified, but Shang-Chi stood firm, his muscles trembling but unyielding. Goku watched, impressed. This wasn't just endurance, it was defiance. Then, the fires parted. The lead monk nodded. You understand sacrifice, but do you understand control? He gestured to the floating ring. Take it, if you can. The ring of incandescence pulsed, its molten surface shifting like living lava. Shang-Chi reached out, and the second his finger grazed it, his entire arm ignited. Goku tensed, ready to intervene, but Shang-Chi gritted his teeth and pulled. The flames engulfed him, then in a sudden burst, they submitted. The ring sat in his palms, its glow dimming to steady ember. The monks bowed. The flame has chosen its new master. Shang-Chi exhaled, his arm unharmed. He turned to Goku, eyes alight with grim determination. The moment Shang-Chi seized the ring of incandescence, the temple trembled, its ancient stones groaning as if in protest. The monks, having their duty fulfilled, began dissolving into wisps of ash, their forms scattering into inferno-like embers on the wind. The braziers erupted, pillars cracked, and the ceiling rained fiery debris. Goku's eyes locked on the Shang-Chi's. No words were needed. With a sharp nod, Shang-Chi clenched the ring that was in his fist, its molten glow pulsing in sync with his own heartbeat. Then, in a blurred motion, he vanished into the thickening smoke, leaving behind only the echo of his footsteps as he ran. Goku grinned. All right, time to sell this. He roared, slamming his fists into the temple support columns, sending fractures spiderwebbing up the walls. The heat seared his skin, his clothes smoldering, but he didn't even flinch. He needed to make this look real. Boom! The ceiling collapsed in a cascade of fire and stone. Goku let the rubble bury him, his saiyan durability ensuring that he would survive. But to any outside observer, it would seem like it was a graveyard. Days later, Goku emerged from the ruins. A day later, Goku emerged from the ruins. Filthy, battered, but very much alive. He staggered into the snow, coughing ash, his cloak reduced to tatters. The Mandarin scouts found him, half frozen, muttering about flames and failure. When he stood before the warlord again, the throne moon was colder than the Himalayas. The ring, the Mandarin demanded, his voice dangerously soft. Goku shook his head. Gone. The temple took the ring and Shang-Chi with it. A flicker of something raw crossed the Mandarin's face, grief and rage, before his rings flared, the air crackling with suppressed power. You let my son die! Goku met his gaze unflinching. Look, I barely made it out myself. We failed the trial. The lie held. The Mandarin turned away, his silhouette framed by the storm that was outside. My son knew the risk, I suppose. There is still one ring that we must find. I will inform you when we have its whereabouts. Goku nodded, surprised the Mandarin had accepted his son's demise so quickly. Weeks had passed since the temple's collapse, and the Mandarin's demeanor had shifted. The warlord seemed more colder. His rings hummed with restless energy. His words clipped. When he summoned Goku to the war room again, the air was thick with tension. The final ring has surfaced. His fingers curled around the armrest of his throne. The Lai ring, capable of amplifying psionic energy while enhancing the wielder's intellect. And it is about to be sold to a man named Tony Stark. Goku tilted his head. Who's that? A hologram flickered to life of a man in a sleek metal suit with repulsors glowing, his smirk as sharp as the blades on his gauntlets. Mandarin grimaced. A fool who plays at being hero, a merchant of death who thinks himself worthy of true power. His rings pulsed, casting eerie shadows across his face. He will be in Hong Kong tonight to purchase the ring from a black market dealer. You were intercepted before he does. Goku cracked his knuckles. Easy enough. Just grab it before the metal guy shows up. I can do that. Mandarin gave him an icy glare. Do not underestimate Stark. His armor is formidable and his mind is sharper than most. If he secures the ring, the consequences will be catastrophic to my plans. Goku grinned. So, I get to fight a guy in a tin can suite. Sweet. The Mandarin's eyes narrowed. This is not a game. Retrieve the ring and eliminate Stark if necessary. And do not fail me as you did in the mountains. There it was, the unspoken accusation. Goku's tail twitched, but he kept his expression neutral. Yeah, I got it. As he turned to leave, the Mandarin's voice slithered after him. And Kravenov. There was no sign of my son's remains in that wreckage. Not even a skeleton. Goku didn't look back. Those were some mystic fires, boss. Alright, that's where we're going to end it there, man. Hopefully you guys liked it. Next episode will be Goku versus Iron Man. Alright, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.